The year was 1997. A small town named Durn Hollow existed nestled in the foothills of the Appalachians. It was a place where life moved slowly, untouched by the frenetic pace of the outside world. Then, on a day much like any other, it simply vanished. The people, their homes, their very history, all gone, erased as if they had never been. The mystery of Durn Hollow became a chilling whisper in the wind, a chilling reminder of the unknown that lurks at the edge of our understanding. The world watched in disbelief, grappling with the impossible question: how could an entire town simply disappear? The silence from Durn Hollow was deafening. No distress calls were made, no signs of struggle remained. It was as if the town had been snuffed out in an instant, leaving behind an unsettling emptiness. The mystery deepened as investigators arrived to find a scene frozen in time. Durn Hollow was not a ghost town. It was a snapshot of life interrupted, a haunting tableau of normalcy abandoned. The sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through the nation, leaving an unforgettable mark on the collective consciousness. Durn Hollow became synonymous with the inexplicable, a chilling testament to the unpredictable nature of existence. Investigators arrived at an unsettling scene. Homes stood with doors ajar, meals sat half-eaten on tables, toys lay scattered in yards, seemingly abandoned mid-play. The mundane details of daily life were frozen, offering no explanation for the sudden disappearance of the town's inhabitants. The normalcy of the scene only amplified the chilling mystery. It was as if time had simply stopped for the residents of Durn Hollow. Even more unsettling were the shoes. Outside homes, in the streets and within the local church, shoes lay scattered. It was as if the residents had stepped out of their lives, leaving behind their earthly possessions in a silent, unexplained exodus. The image of those empty shoes, once worn by men, women and children, became a haunting symbol of the tragedy at Durn Hollow. The abandoned shoes were a stark reminder of the people who once walked the streets, their absence a heavy weight that settled over the investigation. The official investigation concluded that a mass hallucination, triggered by an unknown environmental factor, had led the residents of Durn Hollow to wander into the surrounding wilderness. The lack of any other plausible explanation, coupled with the need to provide some semblance of closure, resulted in this theory being widely accepted. However, this explanation did little to quell the unease surrounding the town's disappearance. Many found it difficult to believe that an entire town could fall victim to such a phenomenon. Whispers of a cover-up began to circulate. The truth, buried deep within classified government files, pointed to a far more sinister and unexplainable event. Something had happened in Durn Hollow, something that defied rational explanation and challenged the very fabric of reality. The official story, a carefully constructed narrative designed to quell panic and maintain order, did little to satisfy those who felt the truth was being concealed. The mystery of Durn Hollow, far from being solved, continued to simmer beneath the surface, a chilling reminder of the unknown. Days before the disappearance, residents reported hearing a low-frequency hum. It was a pervasive sound, barely audible, yet it seemed to vibrate deep within their bones. The hum, dismissed as industrial noise or a trick of the mind, soon took on a more sinister quality. It began to weave its way into the subconscious of the townsfolk, worming its way into their dreams and waking thoughts. The hum was more than just a sound. It was a presence, an unseen force that seemed to emanate from the earth itself. Then came the voices, faint whispers, at first indistinguishable from the hum itself. They grew louder, more insistent, calling out to the residents of Durn Hollow by name. These weren't voices of malice or terror, but rather gentle murmurs of invitation, beckoning them towards the old abandoned church on the outskirts of town. The voices seemed to hold a strange allure, drawing the residents in, whispering promises of something more, something beyond the mundane realities of their lives. The hum and the voices intertwined became an irresistible siren song, drawing the town towards its fate. Compelled by an unknown force, the residents of Durn Hollow as one converged upon the old church. The hum intensified, resonating through the air, vibrating in their chests. The voices, now clear as day, seemed to emanate from the very stones of the church, beckoning them inside. It was a scene of both eerie calm and palpable tension, as if the very air thrummed with an unseen energy. The townsfolk moved with an almost trance-like obedience, their faces a mixture of apprehension and strange anticipation. They filed into the decaying structure, drawn towards an unknown purpose. Inside, the air grew thick with the smell of damp earth and something ancient, something distinctly unsettling. The hum reached a fever pitch, a deafening crescendo that seemed to shake the very foundations of the church. Then, in a blinding flash of light and a deafening roar that echoed through the valley, the church collapsed in on itself, swallowing the residents of Durn Hollow whole. The earth trembled, then fell silent. The hum ceased. The voices were quiet. Durn Hollow and everyone in it was gone. Only one soul dared to venture into the ruins of the church. Officer Rachel Henley, a young woman known for her courage and sharp mind. Armed with a flashlight and a growing sense of dread, she descended into the gaping maw where the church's basement once lay. The air hung heavy with the smell of damp earth and something else, something ancient and profoundly unsettling. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight, illuminating the remnants of the collapsed structure, shattered pews, chunks of concrete, and the tattered remnants of hymnals. Henley pressed on, her heart pounding in her chest. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the sound of her own breathing and the crunch of debris beneath her boots. She moved carefully through the rubble, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness like a beacon in the night. As she went deeper, the air grew colder, drawing goosebumps on her skin. She felt a growing sense of foreboding, as if something watched her from the shadows. The tunnel ended abruptly at a wall of smooth, cold stone. Carved into the stone was a single archway, seemingly untouched by the collapse. But it was what lay beyond the archway that made Henley's blood run cold. It wasn't a door in the conventional sense, but rather a pulsating membrane of stitched-together flesh. Held taut within the archway, it throbbed faintly, as if alive, its surface crisscrossed with a grotesque network of veins and sinew. The sight was both repulsive and strangely hypnotic. Henley found herself drawn towards it, compelled by an unseen force to reach out and touch its yielding surface. As she drew closer, she could hear a faint humming sound emanating from the flesh door, a low-frequency vibration that seemed to resonate deep within her bones. The humming grew louder as she neared, accompanied by a chorus of whispers that seemed to seep from the very pores of the flesh itself. Overwhelmed by a primal terror, Henley stumbled back. She knew with chilling certainty that this fleshy portal was the key to the mystery of Durn Hollow. It was a gateway to somewhere else, somewhere ancient and profoundly wrong. Gathering her wits, Henley retreated from the ruined church. She alerted her superiors, but her words were met with skepticism and disbelief. The site was deemed too unstable, and the official story of mass hysteria held firm. The entrance to the tunnel, along with the fleshy portal that lay hidden within, was sealed behind a wall of reinforced concrete. The ruins of the church were declared a hazard zone, fenced off and left to crumble back into the earth. The official story held sway, but whispers of what truly transpired in Durn Hollow continued to circulate in hushed tones. The truth, buried beneath layers of concrete and government secrecy, remained elusive. Years have passed, but the mystery of Durn Hollow lingers. The town remains abandoned, a ghost town frozen in time. The official explanation does little to quell the unease that permeates the very air. For some, the silence is a chilling reminder of the unknown. Others claim to still hear it, a faint hum emanating from the earth. a persistent whisper on the wind. It's a subtle disquiet, a lingering echo of the forces that converged on that fateful day. The mystery of Durn Hollow serves as a stark reminder of the vastness of the unknown. It is a testament to the fragility of our reality and the forces that lie beyond our comprehension. And though the town itself may be gone, its story lives on, a chilling whisper in the darkness, a haunting reminder that some mysteries are better left buried. The hum persists, a subtle vibration in the earth, a constant reminder that some doors once opened can never truly be closed.